Hey guys, welcome back to Vince Fail Custom. So today I'm sharing with you a Blob and Toad kit that I just finished painting up for someone. Now, I don't know who produced the kit, who sculpted it, or who's like the Patreon sculptor, and I don't know who the sculptor is actually, because there's so many files now that are popping up on like CG Trader and Cults and stuff, so I don't know exactly who it was, but somebody I've done work for before. They really wanted to get a Blob and Toad into their collection, and we came across this kit, and he picked it up, and we had Nick from Nick's 3D Dimensions print it out, which was pretty cool. So it's in Bowen scale, 1/6 scale. It's a really good sculpt. It's a good design. There's a little bit of flaws with it, not with the printing, but with the design of it. And then I should have probably... I wish I knew when Nick printed it that maybe we should have did something a little bit different, but once I got the item, I just ran with it. I'll kind of explain that in a second. But basically, you have your Blob kit on a base, and then you have your Toad. Now, you can actually put Toad onto his shoulder. Now, here is a piece right here that's a swap out, as you can see. It's magnetized with the rod, magnetized here. So what happens is, and it's a little bit tricky though, because when you do is you pop out this part here. It's a little bit sticky, and you can pop out this part here, and you can swap it. And that's the way I came up with this. What I should have done is I probably should have asked him to make a separate arm, a complete arm. And I should have painted this up and just had two swap out arms than just the shoulder piece. I didn't really know, and then at that point I was already working on it, and I was already kind of like in depth with everything, so I just said, you know what, screw it. We'll just kind of do it. But it turns out that the client probably really won't ever do it, you know, because you have this little key here for Toad's foot. But the problem with it, though, is it's a good design and a good idea, but I think it's more or less... It's either you're going to have Toad on the shoulder or not, because what will happen is his left foot will kind of sort of rub against this area. So if you want to actually take him off of here, right, and you want to swap him on, you're going to have the paint probably scrape and everything. And then the other bad design about it is what I did for Toad, kind of pop him off the base without breaking anything. So as you can hear that little click, and then the paint kind of stuck. So it's kind of hard to see. I put a magnet on his foot here and a magnet over here, and then I did this rod in there. Because what will happen is if you have just this area holding him over time, he probably would start to warp down, because I couldn't get a rod up his leg because of the way this is, and this wasn't actually printed hollow, it was solid the way Nick printed it. So that's kind of the downside. So I figured, since I was told that he probably wouldn't be able to get this in his display case anyway if he's on the shoulder because of the height, he figured it'd be better just to have it here. So what I did is I set it up where when you put him into the base, like so, basically, I'm trying to do this, and then his foot over here has the magnet and it'll hold it. So that's a better way of keeping Toad into the base than, you know, warping. It's like I said, it's a good design, but basically having something here that's not holding this foot is a bad idea because of the shift of weight and how much would hold him, and even up here, because if you had him up on the back of his shoulder, if you didn't put a magnet here, basically over time he could start warping down. It's just the nature of the design. So I think that was the only bad design of this kit. Other than that, it's a great item. It was well cut. It's a really good sculpt. I actually like this one. This actually fits that older school like Bowen sort of look. And it would definitely go good with the collection. And Toad is definitely good in scale with Blob. So Toad is going to definitely fit into, like, you know, the Bowen stuff and everything. We'll get a little bit closer. Hopefully the camera doesn't blur out. So once I got the kit together, it was pretty much straightforward paint up. Now, I did do a review. Well, not really a review. I did a video on Smooth-On's foam resin, which is you put two parts of resin together and foam kind of expands. Sort of like the stuff you use for, like, when you do, you know, housework and you want to use that foam to fill in areas for insulation. It's sort of the same thing, but it's actually resin, like a hard resin. Now, the downside with that stuff on this kit was when I experimented on the Blob base, Nick printed a. He didn't use 4K frozen 4K resin, which I'm used to, and the stuff he used was a little bit thinner. And then what happened was when I put it in there, it sort of expanded the base in some areas. So I had to kind of re-sculpt this area here because it kind of blew it up. So I kind of refixed this area. And then when I filled in this base with the resin, I had to sort of cut out the whole entire bottom of the resin and fill it in. But then I learned if you leave a little bit of a bubble there and you seal it, what happens is maybe there might be some gas over time that I didn't let it air out long enough. It kind of bubbled out, so I had to kind of fix that. But once I sort of got the learning curve done, everything worked out pretty well. Even some of Blob, there was a couple air pockets when I filled it in. I filled that in with like, you know, freeform air or Abe's epoxy sculpt and everything, and it worked out good. So he's basically one body piece. This hand comes off, these arms come off, and then he comes out of the base with a magnet in his foot and a rod there. And then for Toad, sort of the same thing, but what I did with Toad is I designed it where this is magnetized because of the way the tongue goes into his mouth. I figured if he was one solid piece, you probably might snap the hair and everything. So I just figured let's just do a magnet here, and that kind of makes everything a lot easier for breaking it down and shipping. It's gonna basically, as far as paint goes, straightforward. I wanted Blob to be a little bit more smoother because I guess he's Blob. I didn't want like any harsh, like, you know, crazy shading or anything. So I tried to kind of give it a little bit more smoother, kind of like how I normally paint. The face is really good. I like the face. He's got a really good little bit of a face. Now that was another problem too with the kit. The way the head sort of was around here. I sort of had to rebuild the ear a little bit to make it look like the ear was kind of like flopping because they had it where the ear was cut. So I did a little custom work around the ear and I kind of sealed it up and everything. I really do like his smile though. The way they sculpted the teeth on him and that little bit of a like extra folds of skin and everything. It looks good. I like it. It's kind of a different take on Blob maybe, but it's pretty cool. As far as this paint goes with the outfit, it's kind of like a satin, silky look to it. Because I figured, like, since he's the Blob, you wouldn't really have, like, a harsh coloring or flat. It kind of would be more, you know, expandable, I guess, for Blob. So that's kind of what we came up with. And then it's just basic, like, you know, for all his trim, it's kind of, I guess you could say mustard yellow. I didn't want it to be the same yellow as, you know, Toad because it would look weird. But and then his boots are sort of a flat color too. He really didn't go too crazy with him. It was mainly the outfit would be more of that like satin, silky spandex look, you know. As far as Toad goes, it's kind of hard to kind of get in there, but basically it's a very, very like muted color yellow. It's not really, it's like a mustard yellow, but it's a lot more like browns into it. No blacks though, because I didn't want to destroy the yellow. But it's got that like, I kind of was looking at like a lot of the 80s and 70s yellows and stuff, and like it kind of wanted to go that because I figured Toad's not a really clean looking guy. He's not a bright yellow, so that's kind of what we went with. And then like the purple is just basic purple. His face, his skin tone is definitely different than Blob. Blob's got like a regular basic skin tone, but with Toad, I gave him a little bit more of a grayish, greenish type of a skin, to kind of make him look, you know, just Toad, I guess you can say. And then the tongue was a good idea with this, and then I put like greenish, like spit on the top of the, you know, on the bottom of the tongue. Even though it was sculpted there, I kind of used green, and I put like a lot of like clear varnish into it to give it that like wet-looking drip look. Of course, darkened up the eyes, as you can sort of see. Really cool sculpt. A little bit tricky with that hair, though. Toad's hair is definitely a little bit fragile, which kind of worried me a lot on it. Kind of get over here a little bit, as you can see. So that was kind of like one of those things I was like, oh, please don't break the hair. And I'm actually surprised you were able to, you know, Nick was able to 3D print that and none of that hair kind of broke off with any of the supports, but it worked out. And then the base is just basic rock base, you know, typical stuff you would look at like a Bone Designs type of look and everything. So, with him having the foam in him, he's not like super heavy where it's going to be like you put it on your shelf and it's going to weigh down your shelf. He is light, but he is not feather light, you know, hollow. So I don't like doing anything that's hollow. I don't like giving clients hollow items because I feel that over time, expanding and contraction could break stuff. I've learned with a hollow head bust I had back in like 2006 where I painted it. It was the Flash bust. I forgot. I got it at one of the Jersey Fest shows or something. I forgot a long time ago. And what happened is over time it expanded, contraction, and it cracked. And I didn't know you had to fill it with like some kind of foam. So at least now I found out the smooth on foam where I can use it for something this big and, you know, bases and stuff like that without. Because if you put straight resin into it, which we could have, this would have probably been a gallon of resin. And that's like, it's like $150 now for 2-part gallon resin where you get 2 gallons of resin A and B. And then it would have made this blob absolutely heavy, which is fine if you're like a collector and you want to spend the money, you want to go that route. But with this one, we tried to find a middle ground where we didn't just use cheap foam from Home Depot out of the can, and we didn't use pure resin where it would have been heavy as hell. So we found that middle ground and it worked out. So there you go. That is the Blob and Toad kit that I finished painting up. If anyone knows who sculpted it or who produced it, throw it in the comments. I'm kind of curious because I couldn't find who actually did it. But it was a really good sculpt. It's going to look good with all his bow and design stuff. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more videos.